Good evening, Fernwood. It is your 5 days a week friend Neil here, and it's time for us to have a Tuesday with another episode of Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 152 from November 2nd, 1976, which would have been a real election day, though I'm not sure if it's election day in the show. I guess we'll find out today. Let's recap. Yesterday, Mary talked with Gore Vidal mostly about her plans for what to put in the time capsule that is going to be planted for her release date celebration. Of course, she seemed to be hinting at getting Chester's lunchbox and putting it in the time capsule so he would no longer have access to it. Over at the Haggers, Loretta and Charlie are still struggling. Charlie's putting lip service towards trying the suggestions that Loretta is suggesting, but really does seem to have given up, and that leaves Loretta praying for Charlie. Next door at the Shumways, Martha gets a call from a group that says that George has been found and that he should be available to meet very soon, and currently he's on a UFO passing Saturn. Right after that, Detective Johnson shows up and persists to ask Martha if she will take a date with him. She is very flattered but is trying to stay faithful to George, who she expects will be home soon. And finally, back at the mental ward, Mary and Wanda watch an interview program which features Wanda's husband, Deputy Commissioner Rittenhouse, as well as Merle Jeters and Annie Wiley to talk about zoning issues. And what they witness, instead of a real discussion of the issues in zoning, is Deputy Commissioner Rittenhouse choking on his TV dinner. And while they wait and wait and wait to see if anyone in the studio will save the deputy commissioner, it appears that he might not have survived that meal. That is our recap for yesterday's episode, everyone. Let us begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
You asked to see me.
Yes. I was wondering if you were acquainted with R.D. Lang's Story of the Lady and the Pin.
Oh, I have read his poems.
This is set in the 19th century. It's about a woman, a catatonic. She's being treated by her doctor. He puts pins in her to test her reaction. When she doesn't react, he decides that she's mad. R.D. Lang, quite rightly, asks us to think about this particular scene from the woman's point of view.
You mean that the doctor is just as disturbed?
Exactly.
This isn't apropos of Mrs. Hartman by any chance, is it?
Yeah, see how her name springs to your lips?
Have you talked to Mr. Ackerman?
I saw him, too, with Mrs. Hartman. She's no madder than anybody else, but he treats her as shockingly, in his way, as he treats me. He offers me cigarettes, which I do not take. Then he lights them.
Well, what can I say? My hands are tied here. Mr. Ackerman does run this operation, and he feels that Mary Hartman is a more bankable asset than I am.
So he won't let her leave. Isn't that what they call unethical? Now, I don't pretend to be able to tell the mad from the sane, but I do know that to keep someone normal in a place like this could have dreadful consequences.
Well, I've done all that I can to avoid consequences, Mr. Vidal.
I'm sure that you have.
But anything that you could do that would help get her away would be with my blessings.
Blessings, I see. Well, listen, I have done you an injustice. I thought you were a doctor, and now I find that you are a priest.
Mr. Vidal.
Ora pro nobis pater.
What?
That's Latin. Pray for us, Father.
You know, I'll sure be glad when Mom gets back. 'Cause we keep on having the same cereals left over out of the variety packs. Because, neither you or I like them.
Oh, eat whichever ones you like. Don't worry about it, Those that we don't want, we'll just throw them away or something.
That isn't very economical.
Well, listen, baby, we won't have to worry about that pretty soon because we won't have to worry about pinching pennies anymore.
Does your new job pay that well?
Yeah, the better you are, the better it pays. You know what? I think I'm a natural.
Yeah. Well, are we going to be rich?
Well, I don't know about being rich, but we'll be able to afford things we couldn't afford before.
Well, hey, I got a list if you're interested. You know, first natch, it sure would be swell to have our own CB, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Hey, what's that name you use? What is it?
It's a handle. Mine's Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl. I love that. You are a Wonder Girl. Do you know that, huh? Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you think up some handles for your mother and me?
Well, for Mom, it shouldn't be too tough, considering...
Now, careful now, Heather. Careful.
Well, I'll think of one for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important to have the right handle.
Well, why don't you and Tippy Toes get together and think up something, huh?
Hey, that's a terrific idea. You know, since we're almost in the chips now, there's something really important that I'd like to get.
What?
Braces.
What? Honey, I think you look beautiful just the way you are.
What do you know? You're like my father.
Well, okay. I'll check in with the dentist and see what he has to say about it.
Oh, no. Orthodontist, Dad. Orthodontist, not dentist. See, Trudy knows a real swell guy that'll give you the works.
The works? What do you mean, the works?
Well, you know, bands, wires, rubber bands, headgear.
You want all that?
Yeah. You know, either that or go around like this for the next 2 years while everybody else has them. Besides, you get out of mouth about 6 times a week to have them adjusted.
Okay, I'll check into it first chance I get. No, wait a minute. When your mother gets home, I think I'll let her handle it, all right?
Daddy!
All right, okay, I'll check into it first chance. Listen, since I'm in a giving mood, is there anything else you want, like a Rolls Royce, maybe?
Don't be a fool. Just get a Firebird. By the time I get my learner's permit, it'll be a used car and you can give it to me.
I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Tom. This is your wife, Mary.
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
I'm just calling to call.
Oh, what a sweet thing to do. Call and start my day off right.
Actually, I'm not calling to call.
What's the matter, sweetheart?
Tom, are you alone?
No.
He's not alone.
I'm with Heather.
Are the two of you alone?
Of course.
Okay, then I won't hang up. But, Tom, I really don't feel like exchanging pleasantries.
What's the matter, Mary?
Tom, Loretta told me that you...
Loretta told you what?
Look, I don't want to play guessing games, and I don't have all day. I just wanted to speak to you and give you a chance to tell me what...
Explain what? Mary, you're not still mad at me about not believing that story that Mr. Markham is a mad bomber now, are you?
No, I'm not mad about it. I just want to know if it...
Honey, wait a minute. Mary, are you homesick?
Do you think maybe you could come to visit me this afternoon?
Oh, sure, sweetheart. Yes, of course. And as soon as I get off work, I'll pick up Heather and we'll be over. Okay? Now, is there anything that you need or want or anything we can get for you?
No, just yourselves. And Tom, Heather's lunch kit.
What?
Is Heather there? I want to speak to her.
Yeah, hold on just a minute. Heather, it's your mother. Come here. We're going to go visit her this afternoon. She wants you to bring something. So pay attention to her and make sure you bring what you want. Here, talk.
Terrific. Do we get to visit the band? Oh, wow. Hi, Mom.
Heather, now listen to me. I want you to do Mommy a big favor. And when you visit me this afternoon, I want you to bring me your lunch kit.
Oh, why? Are they letting you out on an outing to the zoo or something like that?
I'll explain it later, sweetheart. Just make sure that the right thermos is in it. I want the complete Peanuts lunch kit.
Peanuts? Gee, I don't know if I still have that. But anyways, I got this groovy new $6 million man lunch kit. Much more sophisticated than Peanuts.
Hello, Mary. Is everything all right?
Excuse me, Heather. I don't know. Is it?
Hey, okay. And still counting down.
Oh, good, Chester. And be careful. Chester, don't drop your device, okay? I mean, your lunch kit, okay? Heather, now listen to me. It has got to be the Peanuts lunch kit, okay? Do you understand? I want you to bring it. Now, let me speak to your father. Put your father back on.
Here. She wants to talk to me? Hello, honey, what?
Tom, you have got to make sure that Heather brings the Peanuts lunch kit. I don't want Barbarino. I don't want Fonzie. I want the Peanuts lunch kit.
Okay, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. We'll see you later. And listen, have a nice day. Oh, my God. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay, Tom. It's okay. It's okay. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye. All Are you straight on what she wants, huh?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, though. Talk about out to lunch.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, you just make sure you bring what she wants. It sounded very important to her.
Yeah, but I don't know if I still have it.
Well, if you don't have it, then pick another one up after school. Go buy one, all right?
Well,
And make sure you're ready when I get home, you understand?
it might run $7 or $8.
Well, okay. Here. Here's a 10, I think. Yeah. That should do it.
Okay. Oh, we already gave it the office.
Gave what?
Oh,
Now, you must be... Now, don't tell me. I've got it all right here. You must be Heather.
Honey, who is it, sweetheart?
oh, it's some strange man.
I'm Gore Vidal, and I'm writing a book about your wife.
You what? You about my wife? Oh, that's strange. She never mentioned you'd be stopping by. Do you have a business card?
No, a card.
Yeah, a card like this. See? By the way, if you're ever in the market for a recreational vehicle, just give me a call, okay?
Oh, yes, I certainly will, and I'll give you a copy of my latest book, James Joyce's Ulysses.
Oh, yeah, that's a great biography, too. Yeah. Listen, my daughter's just going on her way going to school, and I've got to get to work. But here's the card. If you want to give me a call or stop by, just let me know, and I'll show you all the latest recreational vehicles, and we can talk then, okay?
Well, thank you very much. It was very nice of you. I'm sorry to break in like this.
Oh, no, that's perfectly all right. Listen, if you're doing research, you don't have anything better to do. Mary's mother lives right next door. She's been feeling kind of down lately, having kind of a tough time. And she'll talk to anyone just for the company.
That's very encouraging. Yeah. Thank you. I will talk to her now.
Oh, by the way, what'd you say your name was again?
James Gore Vidal.
Gore Vidal, yeah. See, that's why having a business card is very important, see?
I really can't believe it. We actually get to go to the Met House. We get to see all the crazies in their natural habitat.
Yeah.
Dad,
What?
isn't it kind of strange that Mom wants a Peanuts lunch kit? I mean, I thought you said she was getting better.
She is getting better. I'm sure she's going to have an explanation for everything. Listen, I got to get to work. And you make sure you're home and, for time for us to go, okay?
Sure.
I'll see you later.
I will,
Okay.
yeah.
Paul, would you mind taking the garbage out for me?
Yes, I would. I already had my walk this morning.
Well, it wouldn't take you that long.
Well, why don't you take it out?
Because I have to do everything around here.
Well, it's so messy. I'd have to wash my hands after I got through.
Oh,
I get tired even thinking of it.
all right, I'll do it. Yes? Oh, hello, come right on in. Paul, here's one of your friends to see you.
I never saw that man in my life.
Well, that makes two of us. Mrs. Shumway, I'm here to see you. I'm Gore Vidal, and I'm writing a book about your daughter, Mary.
Yeah, that's what they all say. He's probably a book salesman peddling encyclopedias from door to door. Sorry, old man. Nobody around here reads encyclopedias.
Yes, I know that. In fact, that's one of the reasons I'm here.
Oh, well, would you like to sit down?
Yes,
Sit down right here. And, could I fix you a cup of coffee?
Well, that would be very nice, thank you. Listen, you don't mind if I make notes?
Oh, oh, you go right ahead. Here you are.
Some people get nervous.
And there's the cream and the sugar. So you're going to write a book about Mary. Well, what are you going to write about her?
About her, yes, and about America, in that order. But to find out about the real America, and the real Mary, I want to get to know her family. I want to find out everything I can about all of you.
Oh, so you want to find out all about us, huh?
Everything, no matter how trivial, how dull.
Well, I'm afraid there isn't very much to tell. You see, we're just a very common, ordinary, average family, Mr. Vidal.
Gore.
Martha.
Martha.
Well, Gore, what would you like to know about?
Well, Mary has already told me quite a lot about you, but she never seems to mention her father. She did have one, didn't she?
Oh, Yes, for a while. He's disappeared.
Disappeared?
Vanished right off of the face of this earth. You see, I was sitting in the car, and George was walking around to the other side to let me out. Only he never got there.
And you never saw him again?
Oh, yes, just a squinch as he passed the rear view mirror, you know, and then he disappeared during the blind spot.
Did he often get up and go round, to the other side like that to let you out?
Before we got married all the time.
They change.
Yes, I do. But it would never take George 3 weeks to walk from the rear view mirror around that blind spot. And now, Mr. Vidal, now, you are a writer, and you have a big imagination. Now, what do you think happened to him?
Oh, Mrs. Shumway, I have written novels, movies, television. I think that I have plumbed the depths of my own imagination, and I haven't got a clue as to why your husband would want to leave you. I mean, like that.
Oh, really? Well, maybe I should write a book after I find out what happened to him, of course. Mr. Agoa, there are some people, now I have heard this, there are some people who think that George is visiting another planet.
Another planet? You mean Visit to a Small Planet?
What?
No, that was the title of an old play of mine, Visit to a Small Planet.
Oh, you've written a play about this? My, you do work quickly.
Yes, I do. No, it's not about this. No, it's a play I wrote about 20 years ago. It was about an alien who comes down to Earth. It's really sort of what I'm doing right now.
So, then you don't think it's too unbelievable that George could have been abducted by an unidentified flying saucer?
No, I don't. In fact, I think it would explain a very great deal.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Oh, do you have to go?
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to, yes.
Oh, I hope I have been of some help to you.
Oh, indeed you have, Mrs. Shumway. In fact, you have,
Martha.
Martha, in fact, Martha, you have confirmed a basic truth.
A basic truth? Oh, please let me write that down.
No. You can't write down a basic truth because, you see, a truth to be basic is true, basically, and can never be written down. Anyway, I want to thank you very much, Mrs. Shumway, Martha, for all the help that you've given me.
Why, you are quite welcome. Now, could I ask you to do me a favor?
Anything as I can.
Could you take out the garbage?
Well, yes, of course. I would like to very much. Very nice garbage it is, too.
Mr. Vidal, Gore, what was your basic truth?
Cliché is even stranger than fiction, particularly here in Fernwood, Ohio.
Heather. Oh, Heather. Oh, you brought it. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, I filled it with some sandwiches, chips, and stuff like that, Filled the thermos with Swiss Miss instant cocoa.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Yeah, well, don't get yours mixed up with his.
No, I won't. Would you like to meet some of the other people now so that Daddy and I can talk for a while?
Would I? Do you think I could get in the game?
Well, we'll see, okay?
Okay.
Come on.
Mr. Markham, Mrs. Defarge, this is my daughter, Heather. Now, she would like to play with you for a little while, if that's okay.
Okay, kid. The stakes are a penny a stick. You in? You look just like your mother.
Gee, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm in.
Hi.
Hi. What's the lunchbox for?
They asked us to put something together for the time capsule, and Gore... By the way, did you meet him this morning?
Just for a few minutes. He doesn't look famous, does he?
Well, you see, he and I came up with the idea of a Peanuts lunch kit to represent Fernwood, Ohio, USA, 1976.
Sounds very interesting. Mary, look, you're not mad at me or something, are you? Huh?
I mean, you sounded very weird. I mean, strange to me on the phone. And then all this business about this Peanuts lunchbox.
I was just wondering about that other woman.
What woman?
Mrs. Annie Wiley, with whom Loretta saw you at the Capri Lounge. And who happened to mention your kindnesses to her on television last night, right before Wanda's husband choked to death.
Tippy Toes?
You already have a nickname for her?
Well, it's not my nickname. That happens to be her Citizens Band radio code name.
Tom, I don't think I could take it anymore, at least not just now. I mean, not another May.
Oh, Mary, no. Hey, sweetheart. She just asked me to help her fix her RV, that's all, and so I helped out. And then Merle asked if I would talk to her about that zoning stuff. Hey, really, there's nothing to it, nothing. Really, sweetheart. Nothing at all. You know, she invited Heather and me to dinner, and we went over there. Heather and she played with her CB, and we listened to a little music. Honey, she's just a very nice lady, that's all. She's like having a new buddy.
But it's the first time you ever asked a new buddy to move in.
All I did was ask her if she wanted to park in our driveway. I don't even think she's going to take me up on it. I mean, I don't even know how long she's going to be in town for.
You're just good buddies.
Yes, gee.
You swear.
I swear that, I mean, what else could there be? I mean, you saw her on TV. I mean, gee. I mean, she must be all of 45 if she's a day.
But does she look it? It's so hard to tell on TV. Does she look a firm 45?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never even thought about it. Really. Mary, listen to me. Hey. We are together. You and I. And you know what?
What?
All I'm doing is waiting for you to come home, that's all. Even though I have to share you with someone who's going to write a book. And I know it's going to be a terrific book. I know that. I just know it. How do you two get along?
We are getting along so fabulously. I mean, he is so regular. Oh, Tom.
What?
I'm really glad that you and Tippy Toes are just buddies. Because that's all that Gore and I are. Just buddies.
Yeah. Well, that's all we are. I mean, I'm sure you're going to like her. I just know that. I know for sure you are. You are. All forgiven? Huh? Forgiven?
All forgiven.
I love you. I love you too.
Let's go see how Heather's doing. And listen, why don't you say hello to Mr. Markham, okay? I think it'll make him feel good.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Markham? Tom Hartman.
Yes, hi.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Yeah, how have you been?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. You look fine. No, I think I'll just watch.
She moved it. She moved it, Chester. Yes, she did. Yes, sir.
What? Oh. Well. So first we get Gore Vidal talking to Dr. Williams about the ethics of keeping Mary in. And even though nowadays some of us have talked about Mary perhaps having an anxiety disorder, she was basically considered normal enough to be out on the street. She's not violently delusional, for instance. So, you know, Gore is critical of the ethics of the situation, as I think we should be, keeping Mary in there. Of course, Mary is voluntary. She does want to be in the place. You know, she returned of her own volition from her, you know, her weekend pass last week. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like keeping Mary there as long as she's voluntary is fine. Keeping her there because it's bringing money to the place, not so fine. So in terms of ethics, they're okay that she's there, but in terms of intent, it's not okay why she's there. If that makes sense? I don't know. So then we get another visit, and that is Tom and Heather figuring out the new situation, and Heather asking for braces, wanting things that make her feel normal, I think, because she's been kind of a little bit lower class, I think, is something that if I could read all of Heather's last season stuff, it's just keeping up with the Joneses, just keeping a status, keeping up with status symbols and all that. And now that the family has a little bit more money coming in, she'll be able to. I mean, braces are something that someone could want. I kind of wish I'd gotten them as a kid myself, but I didn't because I'm weird. Gore visits there and is pretty much greeted by Tom and Heather, even though they don't quite know why she's there. And then they send her over to see Martha. And then Martha is trying to establish her question. I feel like this was a big episode for Gore, who kind of met all of the characters that he really hasn't interacted with much. Well, not all of the characters, but a lot of the characters, a few of the households. Then we cut over to the ward, and Tom and Heather coming over, and oh my gosh, what a look for Heather. She's wearing a Mary Hartman dress and has the same haircut as Mary with the pigtails. That was nice. And also they bring the lunchbox, which is very plot oriented, but hey, you need the thing to move the plot. For me, I think it was really lovely to see Tom and Mary interact in this setting, and for Tom to set the record straight on his relationship with Annie, which two other characters have misconstrued. Now, if something were really happening with Annie, that might be a very different situation, but as far as I can see, it's intentionally platonic. So I appreciate that Tom and Mary are on the same page as much as they can be in this really odd situation. And, still quite affectionate to each other, which is nice. Because I think they need something. I mean, I think that is something that they should have, especially after all of last season. And finally, Mary works out her plan to switch out the lunchbox, and Mrs. Defarge points the finger. So I saw a little bit of a reaction from Chester, and who knows exactly how this will blow up, so to speak, but I suppose that's what we will have to wait for tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, watching the show with me. Thank you for sharing your many, many thoughts down in the comments, because, I like talking to you. And hey, y'all, thanks for being here, for doing what you do. We will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.